doing Fleabag, which I have never watched before. It's been on my to-watch list for...
I'm so excited that you're watching it.
Like, years. And I feel like I just missed the hype train of it. But I'm so happy to be on it now. When did you first watch it? Like, what's your first memory of it?
My first time watching it was whenever I got Amazon Prime. I remember I heard so much about it, and especially after, I think actually it was John Lovett, you know, who does that Pod Save America. They were all talking about season 2, which I know we'll eventually get to.
Yeah.
And like, for example...
doing 2 episodes at a time,
yeah.
in case you can't tell from the title. But anyway.
Everyone was talking about her jumpsuit. Everyone was talking about the hot priest. And I was like, what the hell is this fucking show? And then I watched the first episode, which I think is tonally almost like a bit different from the rest of it. And I think you'll kind of see that as it goes on. Not much, but it's a bit more out there.
Okay.
And then I was like, wow, what is this? And then I just literally sped through it because the episodes are around like 25 minutes. There's 6 episodes per season. I became completely obsessed with it to the point that I was almost mimicking her, where I was like breaking the fourth wall in conversations myself.
I love to break the fourth wall, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you watch The Office and you start doing the gym look to the imaginary camera that's in the corner, it's like...
Everyone's like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so glad we're discussing this on a podcast, which is famously not a visual medium.
Yeah, love that. That's really good.
What did you think?
I loved it. Like,
How many episodes have you watched?
So I've watched the first 2 episodes of season 1, which really only kind of like sets you up for who Fleabag is and what her life is about and what she's like dealing with. Like, she's obsessed with sex, wants to ride everyone. Yeah.
Did you identify with it?
Well, I'm in a long-term relationship. How fucking dare you? But you know the bit where at the very start where he's like, he edges towards her ass and then they essentially do anal. I was like, I feel like every woman has been there. You know what I mean? Guys, if any of you say anything about this, right? Me and Ona letting you into our safe space, right?
Wow.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like, it was just like she writes from the female perspective very well, and even beyond that, just has a very keen look on life that is very funny and isn't on paper would seem boring, but then when you see it play out, isn't. Like, I text you that whole scene where that person, she's trying to run this cafe essentially, and she was running with her friend, but her friend dies, and she's trying to grapple with that as well, and that's the whole thing. But in the cafe,
Very the bear.
Yeah, very the bear. But she's trying to like run the cafe and talk about the cafe, and she's like telling her sister, she's like, yeah, it's going really well. But you have this customer then who comes in, doesn't order anything, but it's just plugging in everything into the wall. And I was like, wow, cost of living crisis was hitting in 2016.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my God. So
and that is something that you actually would see.
Yeah.
And then she's like, can I get you anything? He's like, no.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. Well, no, sorry. I'll get like 1 cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And
I like to work a lot, but then I can just see them like boring their eyes in the back of my skull. Yeah. And I'm like, sorry, the
children in this state are...
I love, they must be like, who's that crazy lady who talks to herself?
Dying to know what we're podcasting about. It's not to do with the
It's anal sex.
Oh, the windows are open. Oh my God. It's fine. Anyway, we're airing it through. Anyway, yeah, I think she's brilliant. She's perfect. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I'm talking about, as Fleabag. And I love the sister character as well. Now, I will say it's kind of making me hate Olivia Colman because she plays
the stepmother. But
who was their godmother?
Yes.
So explain. Okay, let's take it right back to the start. What is Fleabag for anyone who's like unfamiliar? I've kind of briefed them, but
yeah. So Fleabag is like this woman who's like in her late 20s. She lives in London. She runs an unsuccessful cafe which she used to have with her friend Boo. Boo has died. And as you said, like she's trying to like, you know, kind of get her life together in the classic way that all of us, like, you know, when you're like moved to a city and you're strapped for cash and you're trying to like, you know, have it all and you're trying to, you know, go out and meet people and whatever, but then it often doesn't really work out. So she's a bit unlucky in love as well. Like the first scene I think we see of her is when she's like a parent, she just had a half a bottle of wine because somebody sent her a "you up" text.
But that's so relatable as well.
Absolutely.
The whole thing of like pretending you're still up and like
2 a.m.
Yeah, and it's like wake yourself up and putting on the makeup and stuff. It's so tragic, but like so true.
It is so true. Have you? Oh yeah. I mean, like the "you up" text. I mean, that's just a classic.
Just launching me back to that age. Like it was just.
I got a "you up" text a few weeks ago. Like last week.
At what time?
3:45.
No, too late.
Oh no, I didn't get it until the following morning. I was like, now I'm up. Please take me back.
What's an appropriate time to get a "you up" text? Like, what's the cutoff point? Like,
it has to be 2, 3. Would like
3 is the cutoff.
But see, if I was out and if I had seen that, I was out. I just hadn't seen it.
Okay.
But like, I would have definitely.
Okay, so you're not out though. You're not out. Two. Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be in bed. If I wasn't out, I'd hopefully be asleep by at least 12:30.
Okay.
I'd have put on my newscast BBC podcast and drifted off to sleep. Then I'd wake up at 3 a.m. because the podcast would still be going, talking about Iraq or something.
Do you fall asleep to podcasts?
Yes.
I can't. I find it so hard.
It's very hard. It's very hard to live with me. No wonder I'm single.